What's up, everybody? This is Earth 894, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast that talks about all things pertinent to the MCU. And if it's got a Marvel red, nice, all caps sticker on it, we probably talk about it. Welcome to our podcast. We're going to be talking about episodes 1 and 2 of Loki Season 2. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. It's going to feel like we're branching or jumping from different branches of the timeline, so sit tight. We're going to be having a lot of fun. My name is Devin Stone, and with me is the guy who I will share a nice, delicious slice of key lime pie with any day and talk about, how I just went and lost it. It's Louie Tonoriti.
I prefer the McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah, I take that too. I agree with you.
He had two different pies in that episode.
I didn't think about that. But also, I gotta... it wouldn't be Loki without me finding an excuse to bust out the quote unquote horny hat. Because I have a stupid theory. When we get into talking about what transpired in episode 2, I'm going to talk about my stupid thing, but it does relate to pie. So get ready. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, the horny hat is not a literal, what is this weird dude talking about? It's our way of saying conspiracy theories with the MCU. When you put on that aluminum foil hat, I said horny hat one time and it stuck. We didn't edit it out in post, so I have to live with it. That's this version of the Sacred Timeline with the horny hat. But yeah, Louie, we're going to be talking about these first 2 episodes. But before we do that, let's catch up a little bit. We are finally back doing this podcast regularly. Regularly. You know what I'm saying. But this is a time we're going to talk about this stuff.
MCU for you.
Oh boy. Louie, catch me up. What you been up to? What has been MCU for you?
Oh, so much. Not really that much. I've gotten some new Funkos. I ordered the Star-Lord album cover so very long ago, and it finally came. It's over there. He's in front of the Awesome Mix Volume 1, and he's singing into the rat. It's not a rat, but like the space rat.
Yeah.
And then October 10th and 11th were Amazon Prime Day. So I copped 2 Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest Funko Pops. They're like comic booky, but they come with pins. So I got an Iron Man and a Thor. They were on sale for $7.99.
That's pretty cool.
Originally $15.
Huzzah.
They also have a Black Panther and a Black Widow. And then they have the Hulk and Captain America available for pre-order. So, yeah, I got those because I wanted the pins for my pin board.
How's the pin board looking so far?
It's a little sad. It's all Funko pins and then an Atom Crack from the Renaissance Fair pin.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then one pin that doesn't actually go on the board from one of the stands we went to at Fan Expo.
Ooh. Got a cool little collection going.
Bunch of empty space. I hit the ceiling. There's Adam Crack's pin.
Sick.
There's a big gash where I tried to put a different pin in there and it didn't work. There's the pin from Fan Expo.
Oh, heck yeah.
CNA. Is that CNA Chicago? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Do some really cool
Factory, excuse me.
Do some really cool Chicago-inspired screen printing. Well, Louie, you definitely have a cool little collection going.
Yeah. Other than that, I joined Frankly Built, a friend of the podcast, kind of a guy that we interviewed once. He just reached 1 million subs on YouTube, so he had a giveaway, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to win me a Captain America shield." But the problem was he did it on the day of my daughter's birthday, and it was at 7, and I was not able to get on. So I got on for a little bit, but I couldn't hear anything. And what I could hear, it was just people donating to him. And I was just like, I'm probably too late at this point. And yeah, I didn't win anything, but congrats to him on 1,000,000 subs.
Yeah. Well, sorry you didn't win anything, man. It's worth a shot, though.
Oh, it's fine. Big stuff happening this coming Friday. I have beaten Spider-Man. I have beaten The City That Never Sleeps, the downloadable content. I have not beaten, well, for the second time, Miles Morales. I'm working on it. Slow going.
Gotcha.
I fight crime asleep sometimes. I like fall asleep and
Dude,
still
I've been there.
beat up baddies, and I wake up and I'm like, whoa. So I'm working on that game. There's no way I'm going to finish before the new one comes out, but that's okay. I'm pretty stoked for the new game, and I already know I'm probably not going to play it very much at all for a while. But that doesn't stop me from sending TikToks to my wife about how Spider-Man's coming out, and I'm going to save the city, and how I'm Spider-Man, and all that good stuff.
Dude, I love those TikToks and memes that have been going around. I think we just shared one today too on our account that had like me saying why I'm calling in or calling off work on the 20th. It's like, because I'm Spider-Man.
Because I have to tell you a secret. I'm Spider-Man. Can you believe it?
Oh man, it's gonna be
Toby, right?
It's like a national holiday for us, man. I can't believe the game is finally coming out in just a matter of days. It feels so good to finally, like, you know, whenever you wait so long for a movie, a game, or a show, or something you've been waiting for, and it's like, damn, they announced it. Well, it's gonna be a couple of years, few years, who knows? And then when you're finally like days, or like you go from months to days to hours away from it releasing, it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! It's like such a good feeling. So it's gonna be a great.
Have you
Friday.
pre-ordered it yet?
No, I'm gonna do it sometime before Thursday night.
You are crazy.
I mean, it's digital, so it's not like, you know, it doesn't really it doesn't really make a difference. I just want to make sure I get it the right version, and then I think sometimes the like game unlocks like 11 p.m. or midnight, usually the night before, depending on your time zone. I don't know, but I figured I'm probably gonna be like staying up to like 2 a.m. playing it anyways on Thursday.
I will be
all day
asleep.
Friday.
I will be at work on Friday, and then I will probably play when the kids go to bed on Friday, and then Saturday is my dad's birthday, and then Sunday
cool.
I think we're going to the zoo, and then yeah, it's not looking very Spider-Man-y coming up here, because it's next to impossible to play when the kids are awake.
Yeah.
And then when the kids are asleep, I'm trying to spend time with the wife. You know, we're watching Gen V now, the whole thing. So hopefully I get to play a little bit. I feel like I'm not going to see Venom until way after everybody else does. That's okay.
Well, just the biggest thing is make sure that you're really careful on spoilers. And this goes for everybody. They've been showing more promo materials and everything, like, you know, typical marketing. But I saw one of the villains that they hadn't shown at all today. And I thought it was a shot from a movie. And then I realized it's from the game. So I'm not going to say it. But if you guys are just really, really, really trying to like keep your blinders on, stay spoiler free, just be really careful. Because damn, it looks so cool. And it got me excited, but it's also like, oh, that'd have been so much cooler if I like came across that for the first time in the game. Like, oh my God, this is happening. So it'll be cool.
See, I saw from friend of the show, Jalen Wade. He's at New York Comic-Con. He said they played a video of all the suits that you could unlock.
Yeah, I skipped that right away.
Wouldn't you want to see that as you play?
Yeah, I didn't want to see that.
As far as I know, I'm a little extreme when it comes to the trailers and the spoilers. But it's like, if you give me the whole story, and then you also give me what the villains look like and what the heroes could look like, and all the suits you can unlock, and all, at what point is it like, why am I even going to play the game?
It's a fair point, man. It takes away like the experience, because you only get one first time for everything. You can never have that all over. You can't get your mind wiped and relive it.
Have you seen the Venom cutscene?
If it's a new one, I haven't. I've only seen what they've previously shown for a while, like back in the past. If it's something that's new, like, I know there's a new TV spot I haven't watched.
it's a newer one, and I've seen just the very first couple seconds a million times where the two of them jump off the building. You haven't seen that? Well,
skip that one.
spoilers, here it comes. Here it comes. They jump off the building and then Venom appears, and then you're just like, that would have been awesome had I done it in the game, because right now I'm seeing this and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. But it would have been cool if I had the controller in my hand and I was like immersed in this game.
Yeah.
I think for the marketing for the first one, if I'm not mistaken, they showed the Sinister Five or whatever beating the shit out of Peter on top of the fucking jail or whatever.
Yeah, on the raft.
And it's like that's one of the craziest parts of the game. Why are we giving this away? I don't understand.
At least they cut it off.
It's a Spider-Man game.
At least they cut it off right before it pans up and shows Doc Ock as like the one orchestrating it all. That was cool. When you play the game,
Yes.
you can kind of figure it out, but your point is still valid. I mean, like, it's like, holy shit, this villain and this villain and this villain. It's like, whoa, it made me interested in the story, but also was like, I think some of them all got new suits at that point, right? Some of them, like some of the villains. But yeah, either way, I agree with you.
As far as the villains, you said there's a new one in there. As far as the ones that I can remember seeing, it's just been Kraven, Lizard, Venom, and then you see on the little tablet you got Wraith, which is Yuri Watanabe. Black Cat seems to be coming back,
which makes sense, you know.
And then I've seen the still of Miles and Martin Lee about 700 billion times. And that's all the villains I know of.
Yeah, I saw someone who was not in that list that you mentioned.
Oh,
it's so cool. I don't want to say anything, dude, because it's one of those things I wish wasn't spoiled for me, because I was like, damn, I can't believe they did this.
See, you're saying that, and now I'm like, well, it's probably not the other four guys.
Don't think about it, Louie. Just do not think about it. Don't think about it.
It's not
do
Rhino
not think
or
about
Vulture
it.
or Scorpion.
I will mute you. Do not
Electro.
say anything. Stop. Don't. Because
So
my
then
face
you
will give it
got
away. Stop.
Sandman.
Stop.
I'm not looking at your face.
Oh my God, but I am.
Who do we got?
Jesus
Sandman.
Christ.
Carnage. They're not going to do Carnage this close to Venom. Kingpin. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be good. I can't wait.
Let's leave it at that. Oh man, good times. Yeah, we definitely need to do a little bit of like an episode dedicated to the game too, once we've had some time to play it and everything. I don't anticipate trying to beat it ASAP. I want to really like savor the game. So we'll see. But it's a good point. If you are wanting to talk about the game and having a good time chatting about it, share some cool stuff that you're experiencing or finding in the game when it comes out, you should totally join our Discord channel. We'll have a dedicated Spider-Man 2 channel, text channel, so you can hang out in there. So if you want to join our Discord, just look in the show notes. You'll find a cool link. It is free and it is fun. So definitely go check it out.
I don't know for a fact, but I'm really hoping they got the TASM 2 suit for this game.
I imagine it would.
That is, yeah, you'd imagine it being the first one.
Well, they didn't add that. They only added the first Amazing Spider-Man suit like later on, right? Because I know you get the first one at least, but the second one they didn't add. Seen plenty of people make it in mods though.
Oh yeah, I'm not a modder. I'm a father. So that's my favorite Spidey suit. So
really?
So I'm hoping we get it. I plan on just getting once again, this is coming from someone who genuinely does not know what's in the game, but I just want to play as Into the Spider-Verse, Peter and Miles, and then just play as those two the whole time. Like hanging out, Spider-Verse style.
Yeah,
Because you get the suit in the first game. Very last thing you can unlock. It's a huge pain in my dick. And then when you get to level 13 in Miles Morales, you get the Into the Spider-Verse suit. So I know they can make the suits, but I want to put them on both of them and then fight crime together as Miles and Peter B. Parker.
That's a good point. I even think about. I wonder if you can select the suit for both Spider-Men, and then that suit stays. So, the game has like points where you can switch and plays Peter, plays Miles. So I wonder if you put on like, the Into the Spider-Verse suits for both of them, will it stay? Because sometimes they'll fight crime and the other Spider-Man just shows up to help you, or they're already there, like cool stuff like that. So I'm curious. Be kind of cool.
I didn't even think that wouldn't be an option. Now you got me a little on edge. Hopefully it just works.
I feel like it's probably a give me, right? I don't know. But man, it's going to be a good
Devin,
time.
I've been blabbing on for like an hour. What's been MCU for you, my guy?
Oh man. Yeah, what have I been up to? So I launched a little music podcast here that's a little relevant called Pop Punk and Culture. And so if you have Spotify, it is only on there because it is a music show. So it actually pulls the actual like songs from Spotify into the mix and everything. And if you don't have premium, you're only going to hear 30-second clips of the song. That's why I put a playlist for every episode in the little show notes and everything. But anyways, first episode's out. Definitely check it out if you want to listen to me just blabber on a little bit about music, ranging from my ADHD brain of like pop punk to metal to literally listening to like the theme songs of shows I'm watching and stuff like that. It's a really good time. And I'm just going to kind of like do little, like literally imagine a radio show. Sometimes I chat for a couple minutes and then bam, 3 songs. Chat for a couple minutes, bam, 3 songs. So yeah, go check it out. But it's been pretty cool. And look at us, Louie. You and I are now across our podcast verse. We got 4 podcasts under our little network here in our interconnected arachnoid sub. Blah, 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 blah.
I did just put a new episode of Losers up. That is my very first podcast, Losers. It's spelled like Lou, L-O-U, and then Zers, S-E-R-S, Zers. With Richard, who was a fantastic time. I hadn't seen him in so long. We did 2 hours.
Nice.
Because of course we did. And then I've been doing Onederland. Onederland got cut short last week because of Henry. But we're still doing it. We're in a bit of a struggle, but it's okay.
You got this, man. Good progress, though, overall?
Sure.
Progress, not perfection or something.
25 to 30 pounds.
No, you got time. I mean, only October.
Yeah, whatever they say.
Well, speaking of time, let's spend some time talking about the timekeepers who are apparently not real. Is any of this real? That was the main topic of episode 2 of season 2 of Loki. So let's dive into it.
Boom. You looking for this?
Huzzah.
Skrull. A Skrull said that.
Don't. No, it had to be Rhodey. It was from Age of Ultron. Don't take that away from me. Don't.
Yeah. It was a Skrull.
Oh man.
I don't know the exact moment.
No one does. Wait, are you talking about from when he says that or from when the Skrulls took him over?
For when he becomes a Skrull.
Well, apparently they don't seem to have a fucking idea either, so who knows? And now I'm upset.
I like to imagine it's it's when Terrence Howard left and then he was taken over by a Skrull, Don Cheadle.
So Loki, first 2 episodes we're going to be chatting about because that's what we're here to talk about. Not anything else that's irrelevant because it's not connected. But anyways, Louie, you and I have watched first episodes, of course. We're gearing up for episode 3 coming out this week at the time we're recording. And so it seems like we've kind of got a little bit of a mixed bag of our own kind of like thoughts and opinions on the show so far. Good. And some good criticisms here and there too. But overall, do a little a check here. Are you enjoying the show? Just, is it working for you? Because you really liked the first season.
So far, not really. I don't hate it. I just don't feel like anything's really happening. And then what is happening is like so much that I just don't connect to it at all. Like some of these shows you want to connect to, and on this one, it's just like we're going on a genocide of all of these timelines. We're going to kill trillions of people, and we need to stop this lady who was in the episode for 3 seconds, who's now just trying to murder everyone forever. And I'm just, whoa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm just tired or if I'm just not interested enough, but I tend to doze off during the episodes. And I try really hard. I'll like keep the lights on and I'll eat ice cream while we're watching or whatever. Just, and I don't know what it was about the first season that kept me in. I remember the first couple episodes of the first season, I wasn't drawn in as much. We did reviews on the whole first season. I remember you being like, I think this other Loki variant's a girl. What do you know? You're like, well, they've had this girl that they haven't shown yet. And I was like, whatever. And then it was. But I just remember I wasn't totally sold then. So hopefully some good shit starts happening. McDonald's has been in there a few times, I don't know. I just with Loki just being relegated to Disney Plus, he doesn't feel as important. But also what's happening in his show is super important. So it's like
a paradox.
If you like, how do you have something so important but also not important at all?
It's an interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, never thought about it like that.
Well, like for the casual people that don't watch the Disney Plus shows, they have no fucking clue what's happening. Like as far as they know, Loki vanished in Endgame, and that was the last time anyone has seen him.
Do you remember when we saw Quantumania for the first time? That post-credit scene where they show Morbius and Loki watching Victor
Mobius, not Morbius.
Oh God, every time. Mobius! Mobius Designs is dead. Oh, man. But when that scene happened, do you remember how the audience reacted in our theater? Because I kind of don't.
Did you start...
Yes, I did sing.
You started singing Mobius. Mobius Designs has failed.
Oh yeah, failed. I thought it was
Alex
dead.
And Jessica's love reminds me that. I'm sorry. I did hear your question. Do I remember the reaction? No.
I'm gonna watch.
There's lots of MCU moments. I do remember people's reactions. That moment, not at all.
I feel like I think that just proved my point though, because we all remember how people react in the theater sometimes when, they give you a good reaction. It's audible. But that I think it's kind of the same thing. Some people, it either totally went over their head for when Matt Murdock shows up in No Way Home, or if you know,
Rip.
And you lose your mind.
Not for us though.
Yeah.
Not for when we went, everyone lost their fucking minds.
Yeah. It was great.
It was opening day or opening night rather, Dolby. Packed theater. Everyone knew what was going on. It's when you started going into the later showings where people are like, who the fuck is that? One of the guys at work was like, shouldn't it have been Ben Affleck? And I was like, you want me to punch you in the fucking mouth? How dare you?
That's hilarious. Never say never for Secret Wars, though. He could show up at this point because Kevin Feige's been saying some stuff, and I'm like, oh boy.
I really don't want him to.
I just want a good story.
Like Secret Wars is so much like there's no way you're going to be able to fulfill what you're trying to do here. It's just not possible, I feel.
Yeah, Secret Wars is not gonna lie, man. The last year and a half, my hype has really gone down and turned into a little bit of skepticism, to say the least. But that's neither here nor there. Going back to that thing though, it's like your point about it being he's a very pivotal character doing important things, but he's just on a Disney Plus series. So if you're not watching, you don't really know. I mean, the stats have shown reportedly, if they're inflated or what have you, that like Loki season 1 and season 2 are like one of like the highest like viewed shows on the platform, which is great. But also, I mean, these streamers can say whatever they want because no one checks this data. No one has access to it other than them. But the point is that if he's doing all this important stuff, but then in that scene in Quantumania, and you're like, oh my God, isn't that guy dead? Why is Owen Wilson here? Who's what? Like, you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? And that's your point. Like, if you know, like, oh shoot, like that's cool. This is also for season 2 of Loki, probably. Like, oh my God, so great for us. But if you're not, you're probably like, what the hell's this? Like, it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like they're shooting themselves in the own foot, it feels like.
I mean, I don't think anybody is so ignorant to know that there is no, like, just to think that Loki's not there at all. I think anyone with a Roku or a fucking Facebook page knows that Loki season 2 is now streaming on Disney Plus. So I don't think anybody's just like, what? Who's that? Because it's just, it's everywhere. But, and if you're sitting there watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I'm sure you kind of have an idea of what's going on with Loki.
I hope so.
Nobody's like, I really want to watch the new Ant-Man movie. I mean, I was, but I want to watch everything. But it's different than like going to see the Avengers or something like that. I digress. I don't know. There's just something about these shows. I don't feel like I need to watch it sometimes. And I'm just bored sometimes.
Mm.
This show, I feel like, is going to get better. There were flashes in episode 2 where Loki like used his powers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was the first episode where him and Sylvia held hands and green magic shot out of the floor. And I was like, let's go.
That was the second episode.
Was it twice? Fuck. There it is. Oh yeah, it was the second episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So like, we're getting flashes of stuff, but like, I keep saying the word like because I'm a terrible journalist. In season 1, old man Loki brings Asgard out of the ground, and
that was a good moment.
Goliath was there, and Loki and Sylvie enchant Goliath. I know that's all one episode, but just an example of like stuff happening and just drawing me in. Oh my God, this is amazing. Where in this, it's just people talking most of the time. And they're like, we trying to move the story along, but you're bringing in people, and I'm just, who is that? Who are these people? Why do I care? And then Loki's just going back and forth in time, and I'm just confused. Not confused. I understand what's happening, but there's stuff I feel like getting left out, and I need everything to be spoon fed to me like a child, and that's not happening here. So, right now I'm lukewarm, but I want to know how you feel about this show, the season as of right now.
I think I get a little Marvel high when it's a new episode. It's like seeing something for the first time. You're like naturally a little bit more inclined to like feel good about it. And so that's how I felt on the first viewing of these first 2 episodes. And then as I've watched them again with like now context and place and stuff, it didn't like bring my like overall like rating of them down, if that makes sense. It's just more so now I'm like, okay, whatever. I do feel like it is moving a little slow. I don't know if this is another 6 episode series or season, or if it's going to be 8. I kind of hope to do more than 6 episodes, honestly. Unless they keep them all to an hour. I mean, I don't know, give or take. But what I do like is that we get a little bit more of like seeing Loki do his thing with his powers. Like, it was cool to finally see him use like his magic in a really like scary way, like his freaking shadows. They had their horny hats on, and then they detain X5, Mr. Bradley, on the brick wall and everything. You show all those like gangsters and everything, or like hooligans in the alleyway, and then it's like, it's magic. It's just like, it's cool. I love seeing that because it's like, it's Loki, not just, he doesn't always just has to be a guy talking, and we know his powers, and then that's it. Like, let's see some of that CGI, baby. So that I do like.
Exactly.
But aside from that, man, it's like, I feel like the weakest part of the show right now is really knowing what the purpose is. I mean, we're 2 episodes in, like an hour and a half total, and it feels like they fixed the big problem they set apart in the first episode with the timelines are all trying to go into this really, really, really tight tunnel, right? But all these branches are going haywire. It can't contain it. If it explodes, literally everything is going to be destroyed, is what like Ouroboros makes it sound like. But then Docs and all those other like hunters just kind of go off the deep end, and they're like, you know what? Yeet, we out. At the end of the first episode, no one knows where they're at. No one knows how to track them. Then they finally figured out, very weird way, at the end of the second episode, have a very quick anticlimactic battle sequence. And then turns out, even though they like stopped it, it looks like those like rogue agents still were able to just completely prune all those timelines and everything. So in theory, is the problem of being able to control the sacred timeline and like everything passing through it, is that no longer a problem now? Or do they just like buy a crap ton of time for them, because now it's like not all these like little branches going off are not all trying to go through the tunnel? Like, that's where I'm a little confused. It's like, so what's the, like, aside from just, where the hell is Ravonna Renslayer? Where is he, or they got to hunt down probably another version of He Who Remains. And then also, like, I mean, they found Sylvie. I don't know. I just don't really know where the show is actually supposed to, like, what the heck are we trying to accomplish this season is my thing. It seems a little weird, but from what I've heard from people who got to watch the first 4 episodes already, I guess season 2 or episode 2 was the weakest, but then episodes 3 and 4 really just like brought the quality of the show back up exponentially. So that's what's kind of giving me some hope.
You see this guy, Brad, in the first episode. He's X5. That his name?
Yeah.
And he's like this hard ass, and he's talking a lot of shit, and he's working for this fucking mean old lady. And then in the next episode, he's like Rock Hudson, like a movie star. He's starring in Zaniacs, Animaniac, whatever the fuck he's in. And I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah.
Like, from what I understand, Doc was like, we need to find Sylvie. And so he found her immediately, and then just went to the regular old sacred timeline and became a movie star. And then Mobius and Loki found him. I don't know if like I said, I slept through most of the first episode. So I don't know if like some shit was explained and I just wasn't paying enough attention. But I was lost at why stuff was happening the way it was in the second episode.
So I found something out that was kind of actually interesting. So I was reading, one of my favorite things to do whenever I watch a movie or a show is go to like subreddits to just like the episode or movie discussion. Because that's sometimes where I find out like little things I miss. And it's like, ooh, interesting, or little theories. So that whole thing of like the second episode, I guess there's a technique called like disarming the viewer or something like that, paraphrased. And that was what they did with this first, or the first 10 minutes of the second episode, because it starts to just give you like a cold open out of nowhere. It's like, here they are, they're chasing down a guy. It's like you're like just thrown into the middle of the adventure so suddenly that it makes you think like, wait, did I miss something in that first episode? Or like, what the hell is going on? I think when people do it well and right, it can have a cool payoff. But I think here it's exactly that point. It's like, why is Brad all this, like, why should we care is really what it comes down to. And it just felt strange. And I mean, at the end, I was starting to think about it when I watched it again before recording tonight. I don't understand how long Brad was gone, because if he is with Dox's crew, he's supposed to go find Sylvie. He finds her. Sounds like he was scared of her anyways and was like, F this. And then also he started thinking more about like, none of this is real. Like we had lives before this. That's how he goes back to like his own timeline, or a timeline that has him as a movie star. How long was he there? Did he just like assume the role of himself? Did he like prune his own version of that timeline version of him and then just stake? Or like, has he been there for like, I don't know, several years and built his way? Like, I don't understand how he established himself. In the hindsight, it doesn't really matter. But like from a time perspective, it's like, how did he already become this like huge movie star when he was going out for a mission? You know, it's like, I think it just goes into the confusion of like, how does time really work? It's a little just kind of haphazardly just thrown together. So that was a little disarming, to say the least.
It was weird, man. I just, I don't know. I guess the problem I've had with these shows is that you get these new characters and then you're just supposed to know what the hell's going on and care. And Loki didn't have that as much because you had Loki, but now they're like, here's this council of people, Hunter B
15,
13, 15, weird tiny lady,
Judge Gamble,
grumpy old lady,
General
and
Dox.
I think there was one other person.
Mobius?
Was there 4 of them or was it 3?
Oh, I think there was a 4th one, an older gentleman. Yeah, he was a judge or something.
Yeah. Either way, they did their whole little talk, and I was like, who the fuck are these people? And then they were like, fucking kill them all. And then she's like, you can't kill them all. Those are people. And they're like, fuck them. And then Dox is like, fucking murder everyone possible. And then that's just what they do. It was weird.
I mean,
Judge
Gamble seems to be the one who like voted against this thing, and General Dox basically was pissed and decided to just go off on her own jurisdiction. So that's at least kind of established. But also, yeah, it's like, who are these random people like out of nowhere that showed up? And I don't know. It's weird. I think also maybe it's part of the storytelling, and just to show like how. I mean, Sylvie makes a good point to Loki, saying like the TVA is flawed. Like, this is the best you guys could do. Like, you guys are like, it's trash. I will make sure like it never works. And it's kind of showing the realms of like, now that they know the truth is out there, sort of, they're falling apart. They're like, they have no internal order. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this season if we just see like complete anarchy inside the TVA, where everyone just says like, F it, whatever, crazy. They're jumping out windows. They're just hopping into timelines, becoming movie stars, or I don't know, riding jet skis. Like it seems like all chaos would ensue. And it's like, how do we even like, it's like a government shutdown, right? If the government shut down and you're like a government employee, like you cannot be paid. And you like, it's like, why even work if we're not going to do anything, because we can't do anything? And it's like, it's one of those weird things. Like, why should I even like put in my work if I'm not even going to get like compensated for it? Or if there's like, it's like this all meaningless kind of thing. So I feel like it's going to be just like utter, just a calamity towards the end if they can't get this all together. And then there'll be a nice little bow at the end that just wraps all together like nothing happened because of a weird time fix thing. But
Mobius was a Skrull the whole time.
Oh, please.
And Loki's wife is a Skrull. And I don't even remember what happens at the end. At the end, Loki just goes back to New York and he decides to be nice to the Avengers instead.
He just goes back and he decides to not pick up that Tesseract in Endgame.
Yeah. He decides to fight Thanos, with the Avengers.
There's something, let's talk about some. So there are some things that are like pretty funny and that I did really enjoy in this show. One thing that almost gave me a heart attack, my love for Casey. Sounds dumb.
I was gonna bring it up.
The first episode.
I was gonna say, like, No, we've got a lot more Casey in this season than we ever did in the first season. And I was going to ask you how you felt about that.
I love it. I love Casey. He's so cool. He's so dorky. I want to talk about the glow up on this guy, right? When Loki's time slipping in the first episode, and you see Casey has like headphones on, and he's like power waxing the floor. Obviously, he had like a janitorial job or something very like, I don't know, very simple, right? And then it seems like as he's gotten through the TVA, even if he doesn't remember it clearly, he's gotten some cool like promotions. He's working in like at the desk job, So props to Casey. My boy's making his way up. I love how nerdy he is, but dude, my heart attack almost happened because when Loki is on that mail cart and they're about to crash through the window, and that's when you see Casey, I was like, don't kill my boy. Don't flatten him like a pancake. Don't. And I was so scared he was going to die. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But legit, I was like, oh, I gasped. I love Casey. If I could get him on the podcast, I'd love it. Eugene Cordero.
Did you see what Casey was listening to?
I didn't see, but I heard it was like a meditation relaxation kind of thing.
It's the same thing Stephen Grant listens to in Moon Knight.
No shit.
That's what New Rock Stars said. Eric Voss, I believe.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't catch that.
I'm Eric Voss. Yeah, I believe that's what he said, is that he's listening to the same little track.
Interesting.
But I think the one that, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the one that he listens to How to Stay Awake?
That sounds right.
Read a book. Do this.
Yeah, maybe it's the same voice, or maybe it's from the same series. They're
I don't know, but it's just
that's fascinating.
It's a thing. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it is. Who knows? But that's a cool catch. I kind of look into that.
Yeah. What did you think about Casey fangirling over Aurora Borealis?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I loved it, dude, because it's like it actually shows us a part of like fleshing out the character a little bit for both Obi and for Casey, because you can see Casey is smart. Like he's just a nerdy, shy guy who's very awkward, like Obi, and he knows his stuff. He memorized the entire thing of that handbook, and Obi's like, "You read it? You know it?" And he would ask for an autograph. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Obi at the end of this show, he's no longer the only guy working in his department. He's going to have an apprentice, an assistant to Obi. It's going to be Casey. That's my big prediction. Casey is going to be working in that department with his, his role model, his hero. He's going to be protege to Obi, and I love it.
If you rearrange all those letters, you get Bok.
What?
B-O-C-K. You rearrange O-B and K-C, it's Bok?
Or Cobb. Corn.
Kind of Cobb.
There you go.
Bok. I keep seeing that they think OB is a variant of fucking King the Conqueror.
That's what I say to that.
Yeah. Or Miss Minutes is a variant of King the Conqueror.
What?
They're all very, like, that's the problem with this show, and also to a probably greater extent Secret Invasion, is that everybody is a thing. And
you just slap it. It's like,
we're in Loki, so this guy's a variant of that guy, who's a variant of this guy, who's that guy, and nobody is who they think they are. The guy that's working at the McDonald's, he's a variant of Mobius. Blah blah blah. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think it's convenient.
Can I just enjoy this show, for the love of God?
Yeah, I think that's something that hopefully once the multiverse saga is gone and finished, maybe we're gonna finally get away from all this like variant crap. It was cool at first, but now that it's like really opened up the floodgates of like, oh my God, let's get Ben Affleck and then Tobey Maguire, and then let's get freaking everyone else who played every A, B, C list character They had a Marvel label on it, and let's throw them in there. Like, let's get the freaking bouncer from the first Blade movie from the Blood nightclub and throw him in Secret Wars, because why the frick not? Like, it's just one of those things, man.
I won't lie. I do kind of want to see Chris Evans reprise his role as the Human Torch and Captain America. I think that would be funny.
We'll see, man. I'm going to plead the fifth right now because I don't know how I feel about all that. Ask me in a year.
I mean, you definitely want to see him come back as Cap, right?
I would love to see him come back, man. But it's like, I don't know, man. I have no idea what they're doing at this point. And I think it's coming out very soon here this month. There's that, what's the title of this book? It's this Marvel MCU book written by I think she was with Vanity Fair reporter. And she's been making like the podcast promotion. What is it? Like just promo circuit. And it's like, she has a lot of scoops from what's been going on with Marvel Studios like the last decade. And it's just, it's wild. I gotta look up the book, but I'm definitely gonna get it once it's out. I can't talk and type at the same time.
Oh, it's called Rooting for the Little Guy by Scott Lang.
I remember when I said I was gonna buy that, and then after Quantumania, I realized I don't want to buy it.
What's it actually called? Something for the Little Guy?
Yeah, I think it's called Rooting for the Little Guy, or Don't Forget the Little Guy, some shit like that. But this book is called MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios. Is it out yet? Oh yeah, it came out on the 10th actually, so I need to go get it. Ooh, it's got a 5 out of 5 on Barnes & Noble, 4.6 out of 5 on Goodreads. Damn, it's 494 pages. Damn,
that's 490 more pages than I would ever fucking read if I bought it.
I gotta get
it. Completely honest.
Yeah, I gotta get this because it sounds very, very intriguing. So we'll get some scoops.
Marvel they got to be so big. Like they had a plan. I feel like right now we're in season 2. And I don't know if you've ever watched a show where season 1 was just fucking awesome. Because you could tell it was a bunch of people that had this fucking plan. And it was only going to go so far. And then it made so much money. And everybody was like, we need more of this. And then they were like, I don't have any more. Make more. And now we're in season 2. They're just throwing shit at the wall, hoping seeing what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they have so much content, but it's when they're trying to connect it all that it just doesn't. It's not flying
they're not
anymore.
Connecting. That's the problem. We're how many years into this, and
exactly.
They haven't connected anything, relatively speaking.
I think at first they're like, we're going to do this, and it's going to lead into the Avengers, and you're like, that was amazing. And then this is going to lead into Age of Ultron. And you're like, that was not as good, but still awesome. And then they're like, now we're going to bring in a shitload more. And then fucking Infinity War. And then some other dog shit. And then fucking Endgame. And everyone's like, let's fucking go. Like that was season 1 or like season 1 through 3, whatever. And it like led to a thing. And now we're getting like a reboot or something. And it's just not as good. And is it good? Yes. Is it as good? Not even close. Because now they're just like, well, what if we hire this guy who chokes women to be the big bad? And you're like, we want a big bad who's not actually bad. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Yeah, there's a lot to dissect there, man. And like, I don't know if you heard what happened recently in the last week with Daredevil Born Again, the news that came out. Because the studio fired a lot of the writers and showrunners and they basically brought in a whole new team. They're basically going to be redoing the entire show. They're going to keep some of the stuff they already filmed, but they're pretty much like redoing it from the ground up. Reportedly, so let me
so weird.
Let me throw the spoiler out there a little bit. Which who knows if they can come out, so whatever. But
spoilers here.
Is that a spoiler?
I think I should just give us a spoiler.
You kind of did.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, well now you know. Now you know. Sorry, Marvel. Whoops. That's out.
So, Louis, if I told you about Karen and Foggy, do you think they'd be in Daredevil Born Again?
Karen and Foggy should be, but it would not surprise me if the MCU was like, nah.
Okay. So let's say theoretically, if they weren't in the season or the show at all, do you think they'd explain it? And if so, how do you think they would?
It's the MCU. So if I think they would use like one or two lines to just be like, yeah, Foggy, Karen, they fell in love and moved to Missouri or something. And it's like Foggy started a new law firm out in Chicago, and Karen went with him. And now Matt's just doing his thing or something. Or like Matt on the phone, and he'd be like, yeah, Foggy, it's great to hear from you. How's Chicago? Oh, yeah, how's Karen doing? Something like that. That's how I would imagine they would do it. Am I far away? Am I far off?
You're pretty far from home on that one, buddy. No, apparently the writers of the show said, you know what? We're going to focus a lot more on Matt Murdock as a lawyer. You won't even see him suit up until episode 4. And the reason why he's not suiting up until 4 episodes in of this like 18 episode series is because Foggy and Karen are dead in episode 1.
Let's go. Dead. They killed him off.
They're taking the fucking what if approach. What if we want to tell a story if we just kill people and use that as our way to tell a what if story? Because that's clearly the only fucking way we can come up with a coherent way to explain a different story. So yeah, they booted those motherfuckers out there. Even Vincent D'Onofrio was kind of tweeting about it on talking about like, we want to make sure we're doing the best possible thing, blah, blah, blah. Then he quit Twitter. But this is good and bad news. The bad news, well, yeah, they just X'd out the people running the show. The bad news is that why the fuck did this get greenlit if that's the story you're going with? Because now you're going back on it. Yes, there's been strikes with the Writers Guild and acting and everything. So there's been noticeable delays, but also like the studio is hemorrhaging. You're trying to fix stories. You're bringing a beloved character finally back into the fold, something we never thought would be possible. And then you're going to just fucking kill off 2 of the most important characters on the show that we spent 3 seasons getting to know and like investing in, and you're just going to write them off like nothing happened in a shitty way. You're going to just fridge them. Like, that's what pisses me off. So hopefully they still don't do that with these new writers and everything in this reboot for this fucking show. But like, if they still decide to go through with saying, you know what, we don't want to have Foggy or Karen for blah, 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 doing incorporate. I'm like, why? Why can't you have these characters? They're good, but you absolutely need Foggy.
Foggy was awesome. Karen sucked.
Her character pissed me off many times because she was an idiot. Like, oh my God, I'm going to do this even though I know I shouldn't. And people have warned me against my better judgment, and I'm still going to do it. But I thought she was an important character, at least. And she grew on me.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd be fair just to say, you know what? Bye-bye.
You need someone to save. I mean, in the first season, she was pivotal. Then, like you just said, she's just like sneaking around and doing all this shit. And it's like, you're causing more trouble than what you're worth right now, Karen.
Mm.
Plus, your name is Karen. Stop doing this.
Just don't give her a haircut.
I think you can have a Daredevil show without those 2. But I don't love the idea. Like, I feel like you almost need Foggy. First of all, the guy from Mighty Ducks, he was a Bash brother. He played Foggy. I can't remember his name.
Mm.
He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome.
He's good.
I love Foggy in that show, and you just can't get rid of him. Like, especially kill him off. I guess if you're going to try and really put over the Kingpin or fucking Bullseye from the season 3 at the end. He's getting a cybernetic skeleton or whatever the fuck. I don't know if they're still going with that.
Probably not.
Probably not. But just in case, if you're trying to like really boost them and they kill Foggy and Karen, I don't love it, but there's nothing I could do about it. So I would still watch.
Yeah, there's a lot with that, man.
Or like I said, if they were just gonna explain them away, like, oh yeah, hey there, Fog. Oh yeah, Chicago, how's it treating you? Okay, bye. Then you never hear or see them again. Sure. Also not good, but at least they're not fucking dead in the first episode.
I would have been
if you needed to bring Foggy in, you still can.
Exactly. Like why get rid of like the guy's name is on the plate for the law firm at least. Like, come on, at least give him.
Now you're just Murdoch.
Yeah, I don't know. That stuff just rubs my gears, and it goes back to the whole point I bring this up is that, like you said, what is this plan? They're just kind of throwing spaghetti noodles at a fucking wall, hoping it makes a Picasso again. Like, you need to have some coherent storytelling, and like, please, for the love of fucking Christ, get Feige back on track of actually having the correct oversight of things. The people making these decisions aren't making good ones at all, and I'm kind of glad Marvel's suffering because they need to learn, and also Disney needs to fucking learn. You can't just expect things to be well with, like, just because it has a Marvel logo on it that everyone's going to be faithful forever, even if it's dog shit. Like what happened with Star Wars, I'll say it. But I don't want to be too bitter. I want to have sweetness.
I love Marvel. I do. I really fucking do. I'm excited for James Gunn to take over DC. I don't know if he's going to be the Kevin Feige role or what his whole thing is. But I've never seen a James Gunn movie and been like, well, that was dog shit. I just love what he does. I thought the Suicide Squad that he did was fucking awesome. I loved the Peacemaker show. I know you loved the Peacemaker show.
Very good.
And he's like taking charge. And I think he can he can give Marvel a run for their money. Because right now Marvel's just putting out dog shit.
Yeah, and he's got competition.
I feel bad. I feel bad saying that because it's not dog shit. It's just not as good as they can be doing.
There's been a lot of laziness.
So they're putting out, half work, and where I think James Gunn is going to be like, here's our new Superman, this fucking super hot guy, and Lois Lane, who I can't remember who's playing her, and a bunch of other fucking awesome people. Nathan Fillion's going to be fucking badass, fucking Green Lantern guy. Fucking Batman's coming in. He's going to be a different person. Probably Jensen Ackles. That you fucking sign me right the fuck up. Jesus Christ. He could do Martian Manhunter. We've seen him take people that nobody gives a shit about and make them worldwide phenomenons. So he's going to take, fucking Martian Manhunter and Calendar Man. And we're going to care a lot about Calendar Man. We're just gonna. So Marvel's got to step it up, man, because James Gunn's coming for him.
Good.
Which is weird because James Gunn ran one of Marvel's most successful franchises.
Yeah. Good old Guardians. One thing I did want to talk about with good old Loki. I have this crackpot theory because I feel like they spent way too much time on it. And lo and behold, it has to do with dessert. Did you feel like it was kind of weird, this whole scene with the key lime pie? Because Did you notice that literally every pie in that wall was key lime pie?
Yeah, I did.
So I wonder. I really hope they find out in the show and explain it. How were all the TVA inhabitants having their memories wiped? And my theory is that it has to do with the food. It has to do with the pie. Because out of nowhere, it's just like, this is good pie. Delicious pie. Yes, this pie. Like the way they're like really emphasizing that's like it's key lime pie, man. And they only have key lime pie. And also, why it's weird. Morbius is like, goddamn, Mobius is walking because he got pissed when they're interrogating the first round with what's his nuts, and they're going down the hallway of the, and then they go into the weird key lime room. But Loki's like, "Where are we?" Or Mobius says, "Where are we?" Or whatever. And Loki's like, "I was following you." Blah blah blah. And they're like, "Hey, do you want some pie?" He's like, "Yeah, key lime." It's like if you guys don't know where you're at, but like all of a sudden you're in the pie room, and you wanted key lime pie, like. I feel like they've been there before. I feel like they know that, especially Mobius. But it was just like he doesn't remember it, but he played it off as if he did, and it felt weird. It's just I'm gonna say that this is stupid, and I'm definitely spending too much time already on this key lime here. But I want to like maybe the key lime is the key lime to it all, you know, man. Like maybe it's in the food. Maybe that's how they're getting their memories wiped. It's the pie. What do you think about this? My nuts?
I didn't even know they were getting their memories wiped.
Yeah,
I'm fucking.
Loki mentioned in the first episode.
I generally don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. They're wiping everyone's memory.
Well, that's why Loki said that,
like their memory of being a person, or
everything. Well, that's why, like, so when Loki's doing the time slipping in that first episode, he's going to the past, the present, and the future simultaneously. People aren't remembering that they met him originally. Like Casey saw him in the past when he was doing a little like the waxing, and he almost died. And then he sees him in the present, but he didn't recognize him in the past. But he definitely would have remembered him in the present timeline if he saw him before. And then they kind of show that again because you see what's his face, Obi. He apparently is like one of the only people who doesn't get his mind wiped, and he was actually remembering things, but Mobius didn't remember it all. He's like, "Oh yeah, remember you came down here that one time?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah," playing it off like what? But Obi remembers everything, so clearly his mind isn't getting wiped. Why is that? We don't know. I'm hoping that's something they explore and explain. Maybe he doesn't eat the pie, but it's evident that that's why. And I think Loki was the one who mentioned like he's been wiping your memory. That's why like you see all the Kang statues and stuff has been hidden, and then he eventually made it the Timekeepers. They saw in the past, this is clearly Kang. This is He Who Remains. His big ass statue is in the like outside. It's in that weird foyer hotel looking place. His heads are across that meeting room. And then that's when Loki does the prune of the wall, shows all the faces, and they're like, "Oh, it's because he's wiping their memories. That's why they don't remember any of this." Like, how could you forget a totally different set of statues, only being one person, and then like three weird fictional robotic, timekeepers? So he's been wiping their memories. So that's why it's like interesting.
I mean, the pie could be the key lime.
Key lime, baby.
Yeah.
Should have been green apple pie.
I don't know.
When I saw green pie, I was like, please be green apple.
There is no green apple pie.
Oh, okay. If green apple,
I don't know what kind of apples you use for apple pie. I don't like apple pie, so
green apple pie, boom.
It's
Homemade
okay.
apple pie recipe. Granny Smith green apple pie recipe. Bam. 80 reviews on the Spruce Eats. Are green apples good for pies? It says one of the most tart apples and a favorite apple among professional bakers. Boom. It exists.
But it's not green, though. It's an apple pie.
They can use food coloring? They can make the
Sure, you can use food coloring on fucking anything.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's still green apple.
If you make anything green apple, it automatically sucks. Green apple Jolly Ranchers are terrible.
Green apple Laffy Taffy.
Terrible.
No, it's not that bad. I take it over grape
The
any day.
banana Laffy Taffy is the worst flavor.
Banana
of
just tastes like weird vanilla with
Disgusting.
like powder. Cherry's where it's at.
Fuck Laffy Taffies. If we're being honest, I fuck them. Don't they pass? If I have a bag of Halloween candy, guess what I'm not reaching for? Fucking Laffy Taffies. Guess what I am reaching for? Reese's peanut butter cups.
I agree. I would take the Reese's over that.
You like the peanut butter cups?
I do, actually.
Speaking of having your memory wiped, you like peanut butter cups? Have you ever seen 50 First Dates?
I have, but I didn't even realize there was a reference to it. It's been a while.
She gets her
Yeah.
her memory wiped. That's what the big Samoan guy at the restaurant calls Adam Sandler. Peanut butter cups.
That's
You
funny.
like them peanut butter cups?
Oh man, dude. So we kind of went all over the place. We kind of jumped across the timelines here today with our discussion, but
Fuck it.
exactly. Do you have any final thoughts on these first 2 episodes for Loki?
Oh shit. Sylvie is
We didn't even talk about her.
fucking, she's so emo. She's just like
Can I take your order?
working at fucking McDonald's,
She's got the mullet.
hiding a temp pad in her arm or something. I don't know, man. Loki's like, bruh. She's like, dude, fuck you. Whoa. He's like, I loved you. And she's like, I didn't love you, you fucking
Nerd.
fuck. Yeah. Then she's like, hold my hand, but don't fall in love with me again, you fuck. He's like, oh.
Yeah, just don't read into it or whatever. Like, it's like, man.
Yeah. I guess in the second episode of the first season, Sylvie walks into a time door, whatever the fuck the big orange fucking door, and expects Loki to follow her, but she doesn't tell him to. And then he does. Well, the same happens in this episode, but Loki walks into the time door and Sylvie follows him, even though he doesn't tell her that she has to or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's another thing I read from either Screen Crush or New Rock Stars or whoever.
No, it's a Louis Tonarini original.
I go, what the fuck is happening? And then I listen to someone who pays way more attention than me talk about it. And then I go, I can try and share this with the world. By the world, I mean our listeners.
Doing the Lord's work, baby.
Who are my world. So, where do you think we're going?
We're going on a trip on a tiny rocket ship. I want to say we're going to find. I don't know, man. I was thinking after rewatch the second episode, I think at the end of this series, Sylvie is going to be the one who is actually running the TVA. But she's not going to call it like the TVA. She's going to call it something else. But she's like, she's so anti-TVA, anti-establishment, blah, 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 blah. I hate it. But she's like, seems to be one of the people who actually like does understand and how to make it, why it needs to be better and what could make it better. But she doesn't want to make it better because she like is still so apprehensive and resentful towards it that she'd rather see it demise. I think now that she's had some time like to actually stay in a timeline that like, she didn't have to eat rats, right? Or like when she went up to the counter in that post-credit scene. And she's like,
I don't know. She's eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
So.
She's like, oh my God, I'm at McDonald's. True. I think she's understanding. And that's why they showed that little end part of the episode with her like talking to her coworker, that little kid. Like, is your mom picking you up?
Mobius. That's Mobius, dude. Someone on the internet said so.
That'd be
But-
that'd be
But yeah,
wild.
his mom was coming to get
Yeah.
him. And
I think it's some like
she's just sitting on the hood of her car.
right, and I think she's finally like seeing that she can almost like care about other people. Like there is like timelines worth saving, right? And so I wonder if what's going to be that gets her back into all this is like, you know what, maybe I should try and help because I'd be ashamed to like watch these innocent people die, right? So maybe she'll eventually come back and she'll become the one who runs it all correctly, and that'll be her place in the story. And maybe they just leave her there, and she's the one who takes care of all this timeline stuff. And then Loki maybe is like, my job here is done, and then he leaves, and then or he stays, and they have a happy little family together. They're co-presidents or co-managers. I don't know, but I feel like at the end of this show, either way, it's going to have them in a very high important role. So here's to that.
I genuinely don't know how we get from where we're at to Victor Timely. And like we saw the scene with Victor Timely at the end of Ant-Man. And like Loki's terrified. He's like, that's the guy. But like how do we get there?
And why are they there?
Yeah. I mean, from what I can tell, they found Ravonna Renslayer at the end of the second episode.
Right.
So the next episode, they're going to be going after her. Just in comic book world, Ravonna Renslayer she's either in love or
Kang really falls in love with her.
Yeah, she's a whole Kang thing. So maybe
they got a Kang thing.
She's with Victor. She's with Victor Timely and her thing, and so they're looking for Ravonna in this world, but they end up coming across this Kang variant, Victor Timely. I guess that's the only. I can't figure out how they're gonna. Like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. In the first season, I kind of knew what was happening. Now, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching Lost. You just end the episode. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
You're feeling lost.
And then you turn on fucking Gen V and it's just like a straight line. And you're like, okay, this makes sense.
That's what happens when TV writers aren't involved in writing TV. The more you know.
Going on strike.
I think, I feel like the third episode is going to get us that Victor Timely stuff, or episode 4. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have very little Kang this season.
Well, we only got He Who Remains in the last episode of the first season. Granted, it was fucking awesome.
Right.
But like there was hardly anything. So I feel like if you're going to do that, you should get more of it in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're just going to do one episode of Jonathan Majors per Loki season. Also, he's probably done now. So one episode of Kang or his variants per Loki season, which just sounds fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck.
And his court case still like, it got like delayed again last I heard in August. So it was looking more in favor of him. Apparently the person he's against in the lawsuit is like fled the country apparently. I don't know, but he hasn't been like actually like X'd out.
It's one of those things where you're guilty until like you're just that's just what it is. Like even if he's found innocent and all this and everything, they're still going to be like apprehensive about working with him. Mm. It sucks because that's not how it's supposed to be, but it is how it is, you know? So between him and fucking what's his name? Namor.
Oh yeah, Tenoch Huerta.
It's like
I forgot about that.
Sure. Yeah. So we're just dealing with all of the baddies, like being actual baddies. And it's just so weird.
Not good, bro.
I don't know what to even like. Are they even if he's found innocent? Can you put him in a movie and expect everyone to be okay with that? Personally, I'm not the most politically correct person in the world. I would be okay. Like if he's innocent, then he's innocent. Put him in the movie. But I don't know.
Moral of the story is
Who the fuck am
be
I?
a good person, y'all. Don't do bad things.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Yeah. It's not that hard. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah. Exactly.
The more you know.
If there's one thing to take away from Quantumania is don't be a dick. All right. Well, how about we end this episode on some very exciting news with an announcement?
Okay.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, Louie. We did it.
We did it.
We have broken over 100,000 downloads for our podcast. As of today, we have exceeded 100,000 downloads across all of our 90-something episodes. So, Louie, we did it, man. We did it. We're 2 years in this episode or this podcast, and damn, dude, we've ridden the highs, the lows. We've ranked high, top 100s in spots in like parts of the world. But now we got 6 figures, baby. Hell yeah, dude. So, it actually has been like something I've been watching like freaking every day for a while now, seeing these numbers. And, we took a break for part of the summer and that definitely did delay it. But the fact like we came back and, we finally broke this record and like, I don't know, it makes me like, holy shit, dude. Like people listen to us a little bit. It's insane. So to all the listeners out there, if you've listened to a couple minutes every episode, you've interacted with any of our posts, you've joined our community, like anything at all that's helped us support us, like giving us a review, it's incredible. Thank you guys so freaking much. It's just insane. And Louie and I we do this from the bottom of our heart for fun. We're not trying to be rich off this or go to premieres, which would be nice. But it's it's like we want to have fun.
I don't want to go to a premiere.
We'll do a road trip. We won't drive if you'll go.
Oh,
hopefully one day.
That still sounds awful.
Oh man. Well, Louie, we did it, and I'm happy. So I wanted to surprise you a little bit.
100K. Look at us.
Hell yeah.
Look at us.
We're done. We talked about the first 2 episodes. We went all over the place with the MCU. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. And like I said, if you are hopping on the Spider-Man train, be sure to join our Discord. So we'll have a cool little chat for you to talk about the game. And, it's fun to talk about things you're experiencing first time. It's great. Share some tips and tricks, little Easter eggs. Be Spider-Man. Be greater together. And what is also...
Check out our...
You got it.
Oh, I was going to say, check out our Slack channel. Also, go to our My Yearbook page. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We're now available on Twitter.
No,
we're
not.
Find us over here on MySpace. Go to Neopets and come visit our kingdom. Go to Farmville. We're on Farmville. You can now find us over here on x.com, where we will be interacting with our listeners.
We're on Threads though.
Follow us on Threads, where we thread stuff. We're gonna thread you.
Thread the needle,
right
baby.
After we thread ourselves. Also, we're available on reallifedickparty.com.
What the fuck? Please don't tell me that's a real website.
It's an Aziz Ansari bit. It might be a real website.
I might have. No, I'm not gonna type that in. Oh shit, man. Well, it's like what Louie said. If you're looking to interact with us more, just look in the show notes, or just when in doubt, head over to eartha94podcast.com. But please, guys, please, it would help us out tremendously. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. The more stars, the better. But even if you say a couple words, if we're dog shit or if you think we are the shit, share us. Let us know. It helps us climb the ranks a little bit more. Spotify,
Don't tell me I'm dog shit.
give us some more
I'm so
stars.
sensitive.
Yeah, we're very emotionally sensitive and, we don't hurt our feelings. But if you have to, at least say we're dog shit, but give us 5 stars. That'd be great.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell your friends to tell their friends. Right there, you got like 38 people.
Hell yeah.
Math.
All right, man, we are done. We're out of here. We've been Earth 894. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Roll time.